Supervisor Perkins. Tell us what you've done in your public life of which you are most proud to support arts and culture.
Well, I tried to outline several activities over 21 years at different levels of government in the 2 minutes and 5 seconds that I took in my opening. But I think, and at the risk of bringing up something that was a very sore spot back in the day, walking into the mayor's office with now Supervisor Ken Yeager, who was a city council member with me at the time, back toward the end of my first term on the San Jose City Council, and demanding that we take general fund money and support the symphony, which needed that money to survive that year. And I'm proud of that. I'm very proud of that because had we not done that, there would have been no symphony in this great city. It was that simple. It was a black and white issue. There are many other times, and I alluded to some of those in my opening statement, where the council had to step in because of ups and downs in the economy, difficulties that arts organizations have had over the years, irrespective of whether they were theater companies or other arts groups. And I think all of you out here who are invested and who volunteer or serve on boards, who have been around for the last dozen years, remember those occasions. So overall, I singled out one particular example, but it's only one. And what I remember and what I'm proud of most is stepping up when needed and making the tough decision, usually with minimal resources available to us on the city council, to augment the funding for some of the arts groups that were so prominent in our community and still are to this day. Thank you.
I think it bit back to about a half decade ago when the downtown was full of really large venues that generally were patronized by a lot of 22-year-olds with a lot of testosterone, and usually with no live music, but a lot of DJs and big crowds. And often with big crowds came big problems because there was usually a big bar tab that was left behind. And I recall working with an awful lot of partners on this one to see how we could revive live music in the downtown. And what we learned was, first of all, that it was a real challenge for a lot of promoters and for musicians to be playing in downtown venues because of all the challenges with permits and the red tape. And so, particularly working with Lee Wilcox here in the downtown, we streamlined the process so we can ensure that smaller venues could have live music without having to get an entertainment permit and go through all the pain and suffering that one generally endures whenever you go up to the permit window at City Hall. And the good news is we're starting to see some real signs of life emerging, and you'll see them every time you head over to the Pagoda. I don't know if Tommy's here. He's filling it with live music many days a week, or at the Headley, or even if you're sitting outside at the San Pedro Market on a Friday evening, you can enjoy live music in an urban environment with people of all ages. And I look forward to the day when you can get on svlive.com and find that there's live music happening every single day of the week. We're almost there, we're not there yet, but we're going to make it happen here in the city.
Well, I'm going to mention two things. One, San Jose Youth Ballet out in Evergreen. I'm very proud that I have been working with them since I've been in office and helping them every year in terms of finding locations and supporting them with funding. Because I think it's really important to have cultural arts programs throughout the city. Downtown, absolutely, we need to support the core down here, but we also need to support activities throughout our city in all our neighborhoods. The other thing that I want to mention is Mexican Heritage Plaza, which has gone through some real struggles. And I'm proud to chair the Economic Development Committee and support the programming that has emerged over the years, and certainly due to all the good work in our community, First Act and others that came together and formed a process that now has created a really incredible program in our community for arts, and really expanding that and opening it up to the whole community. I look forward to when the bus rapid transit goes down past the Mexican Heritage Plaza and has advertisements for all of the wonderful activities there. So that is something that's really enlivening, not only for the Hispanic community, but for the entire community. And I think the future of our arts needs to really support the diversity and the increasing numbers of opportunities to support a multicultural kinds of programs throughout our city. Mexican Heritage Plaza is doing that. It's a model for the future.
So I alluded to the $400,000 that the 4 arts and cultural facilities in downtown San Jose received from the San Jose City Council last year as part of our budget. And that couldn't have happened if we didn't go out and reach out to the executive directors representing these facilities. And this is something that I pledge to continue to do, because as we looked at some of these cultural facilities, arts and cultural facilities, they are starting to become deteriorating. And just a couple weeks ago, maybe a little bit more, a month ago, I actually came back and visited the San Jose Museum of Arts, and I saw the new flooring, and it's beautiful. And I talked with Susan Crane, and she said the money that the city council allocated, we use it to make sure that the flooring looks good for visitors and tourists that comes into the San Jose Museum of Art. I am very proud to also support the art boxes that are everywhere throughout the city of San Jose. I think it's just such a great, and it creates such vibrancy in our community, and especially in lower income neighborhoods throughout the city of San Jose. So these are some of the kind of things that I'm very proud to continue to support. Obviously, I didn't grow up in an arts environment, but I believe that arts really contribute to the vibrancy of our life, both on a personal level and also on a social level. And that's why San Jose, especially here in downtown, is just so unique to have that kind of vitality, that kind of vibrancy here. Also, just according to the Arts National Study, the city of San Jose alone generated $122 million in economic activities from the various arts activities here in San Jose. So $122 million that we're able to generate, and yet in the upcoming CIP budget, the capital improvement budget, we are only allocating $3.9 million for these arts and cultural facilities. Look at the discrepancy. If we are generating this much money, this much amount of money, we have to continue to support the arts and cultural facilities so that it adds to the economic development and vitality of our city. So as mayor,
And
I will
that's
continue
time.
to do that.
Thank you.
You need to sit right here, I can't even see.
Yeah, I can definitely.
Yeah. Oh, good. So to the question on the one thing that I'd be most proud of is, like many of you, you've probably seen outside Shakespeare. Maybe it was in Santa Cruz, maybe it was in Saratoga, maybe it was up in Oregon. And we didn't have that in San Jose. And I had this park in my district called Frank Bramhall Park, Willow Street Park, and I had this natural grass amphitheater. But it wasn't grass, it was a dirt bowl because there was no watering down there. And I thought, well, wouldn't this be a nice place for outdoor Shakespeare? So I approached the Shady Shakespeare Theater Company, and I took them there, and they said, we're not performing here. And I said, well, what happens if I can get some stuff fixed? So over time, I got a sprinkler system put in, so that there's no longer a dust bowl, it's grass. And there was an electrical box, because we used to have bands play there in the 70s. Not Led Zeppelin, but some kid bands. And we got the electrical box fixed. And lo and behold, Shady Shakespeare said, we'll do it. And we both took a risk. And we were hoping for 2,000 people. We got 4,300. Out of the 4,300 people that attended, 25% were children, and some 2/3 to 75% had never seen live theater in their entire life. So the idea is as we do things in the arts, we also need to go outside of the downtown and into the neighborhoods. This is a big city of 1 million people, and if we touch other areas of the city that maybe aren't as in tuned or exposed, then that brings a better altogether for the arts in general. So I think that was a critical event. They're coming back this year. We're hoping to have San Jose Opera perform one performance on a Sunday before. I'm also trying to get some youth symphony to perform. I think those are just the opportunities that are before us. We have these beautiful parks. We want to enliven them. It creates a sense of place. And you know, we're such a society now that really wants to be by ourselves, be on our Netflix, be on our Hulu videos. And we don't get all the time to be together as a community and enjoy a common experience. And that's something the arts does, because we leave our homes, we enjoy something together, and we meet somebody. And we have a better sense of who we are as a city if we do that. And so I think that's a big component of art.
Thank you.